Hello, hello. All right, so we're here with Erica, and
Mm-hmm.
we're going to be talking about your business, right? Your coaching business, which I kind of want to take whoever's watching this video through the journey of why you even decided to start the coaching business in the first place. And then, of course, the journey of us working together, how that's been, all the wins, uh, maybe some negative or losses as well through the journey, just like to get an overview of everything. So,
Okay.
um, why did you decide to start your coaching business in the first place?
So I previously owned another company, which I still own, but that one I have to work really, really hard at. And the industry that it's in is going through a bit of a recession or pullback. And there's kind of like the threat of AI potentially like hitting that business very hard. But I coach on how to trade stock options. And I love that subject. So I was looking at starting a new company to kind of live alongside my other company or maybe allow me to shut down the other company. And this was just sort of like a natural fit for me because I was actually doing a fair bit of coaching in my other business. I was helping artists build their brands to become successful photographers and directors within the advertising realm. I also sort of had a lifelong goal of in my 50s moving over to more consulting work, which I would say coaching is setting my own schedule, living life on my terms, that kind of thing. So I really saw where like coaching could do that for me.
Nice. I love
Mhm.
it. So I want to give a little bit of context, right, on the business that we're even talking about. So a
Yeah.
coaching business is actually, which is the one that I have, the one that Erica has, just in different niches.
Yep.
It's quite simple. It's just a bit, you can do it by yourself. It's just a one-person business that
Mhm.
involves you being the expert at a specific subject. For Erica, she's the best when it comes down to options trading, and she's very passionate about it. So it's just knowing that subject and just teaching it to others. That's
Yep.
essentially what it is.
Mhm.
Super simple. You're just really good at something and you want to teach it to others, and the other people pay you money to learn from you directly. You can do it one on one, you can do it in a group. There's many ways to set it up, but that's basically the business model.
Yeah,
So,
you can also just be a special, you can also just know some way to do it that's different than how everybody else is doing it. That's
yeah,
another thing that you can do as a coach.
exactly.
So, yeah.
Amazing. So, if we go back in time before you and I spoke for the first time,
Mhm.
I remember I asked you the other day that if you remembered how much money you were making before that point when we
Yeah.
first spoke. Can
Mhm.
you tell me a little bit about like how your business looked like before we spoke, and like how it was structured, maybe how much money you were making, just like how it looked like before?
Yeah, I was just starting out and I was trying to figure out how to make it work. And I was booking people sort of for like a one-on-one session where I would start talking to them about options trading and educating them. And I was booking appointments here and there and charging like $100 an hour or something like that. And I would maybe make like 500 to 1,000 a month. um and getting the people to stay on track and like keep booking the sessions or keep working through the sessions was hard, and it was a nightmare to keep on track of them and like keep them on course. That's how I would describe it.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I mean, I remember I was actually kind of surprised when we spoke for the first time. I was like, there's no way that, I mean, you're just making 500 bucks from your business.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually quite surprising to me. And
Mm-hmm.
because to give it a little bit of context of the businesses that we run specifically as well, a lot of it is based around having a high ticket offer, right? An
Yes.
offer that you can actually offer and sell for thousands of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a whole different conversation in terms of pricing. If you do a 1K offer, a 2K one, 5K, even over 10K, etc., like completely different. But But yeah, I was like, you're getting clients, like you're actually helping people, but you're only making 500 bucks, 1K the most. I was like, nah, like this, you're making like 10 times this at least 10K a month. So,
Mhm.
do you remember like what was the biggest change when we began working together months ago that allowed you to right now? What has been your best month? I asked you on WhatsApp as well, but like what's the most
Probably 20K, something like that.
okay,
Hmm.
okay. What would you say like from making 500 bucks to now making 20K per month with the business? What was like the biggest lever that allowed you to do that working together?
But definitely the high ticket offer, like coming up with the high ticket offer with you, knowing that there should be a high ticket offer, um, and then just structuring like the whole business around that. Um, since then, continued to develop like a lower ticket offer that has higher sales volume. So it's just like continuing to build on different things that people can buy at this point in time. But that's kind of where we started. And then like your coaching on how to sell people on the high ticket offer. Um, because you have a whole script for it and it works quite well.
Yes. But like it's a script for a reason, but once you're actually speaking with the person, it doesn't feel like a script, and that's the whole point.
Mhm.
The whole point of selling is to actually not even sell. The
Mhm.
other person is selling themselves. So but yeah, that makes sense. That makes me very happy, by the way. I'm very proud of you.
Yeah,
Um
I mean, I mean, it's come a long way very fast, which makes me even more excited about the future potential of it. But the other thing that I would say is like working alongside somebody keeps you on track. And even just we have a conversation every week. And that just you usually ask me, so what's going on? What are you coming up against? What's working? What's not working? And then those conversations kind of keep me on track for what I need to do the next week to keep rolling along, or like reevaluating yeah, what's working and what's not working. Another thing that really became big for me was I used to take one-on-one appointments to meet with people directly to become clients. And then we sort of made it into a group meeting, which saved me so much time in the week. And I kind of thought, hey, maybe I'll miss out on some business here or there because I'm not giving people one-on-one attention as much. And I would say there hasn't been any fall off, and perhaps there's more bookings now. So it's just kind of like continually refining with somebody is very helpful to keep going.
yes, I love that. What would you say? I mean, to stay on that specific topic that you just brought up, what would you say to someone that, let's say, I'm going to create an archetype, right? Someone that already has the skill sets of trading or the skill set of any business, really, or not even business. There's other niches, right?
Yeah.
Relationships, fitness,
Mhm.
nutrition, whatever it is. Someone that is already an expert in their field
Mhm.
that is wanting to have a business that generates 20K a month, like yours, but they're still stuck below $1,000 per month or even less, right? Someone that maybe just has one or two clients is not really doesn't really know what to do and is in that position that you were in before we spoke for the first time. What would you say to them? Like what would be your genuine piece of advice for them?
I mean, sometimes I guess I'd have to look at overall what they're doing, but I think that there's a few things. I think that like since we're mostly talking about people that we're getting off of social media, like you having a real profile pic and sharing real stories about your life is really important so people know that you're real. Like these little like icons that are just like an animation or an avatar. I'm like, who are you? Why should I trust you? So you have to do something to build trust. You have to share a lot of your knowledge base with Twitter without giving too much away. You have to be kind of fun and interesting and sometimes even say some things controversial to get more eyes on you. So that's kind of like a game, but outside of that, I would say learning that game is really important. But then the other thing is like, I'm obviously like a big fan of working alongside somebody and getting coaches. I always have been. I have you as a coach for this. I have a life coach. I've had health coaches, like just borrowing somebody else's information or paying for it. And then it just speeds you along so much faster. Because you don't have to sit there and wonder like, what should I be doing? Or it's just, I find that to be pretty invaluable myself. So I'm a big believer in that, like paying for education and keeping your education going. And coaching is one form of education. Basically, you're a mentor on how to how to run an online business. And from what I can tell, it works.
That's great advice, actually. I mean, I've been in front of the archetype that I just described, someone that is there. I mean, I know it like the palm of my hand, and the advice that you just gave is amazing, actually. That's great. Starting with, yeah, don't be anonymous, you know, like online, you want to show yourself, you want to show your life, your face, just what you're doing. And then of course, I would like, what I always say is that I love to give my stuff for free, right? I love to give, and you do as well, right? Like you give your trainings, you give your documents, your videos, you have a YouTube channel, all these things, right? Like we give our stuff for free. And I do it for a reason. I do it because I kind of want people that want to be doing what I'm doing or what you're doing, I want them to feel that they can do it on their own. Like I kind of want them to feel like they have the information, they can do it, they can totally do it. They can close the clients, they can make 20K a month, all these things. But then like you realize, especially if you're this archetype that is not making 20K a month yet, you realize that you kind of want to be surrounded by someone or a group of people that are already doing it and can just simply shortcut the whole thing. Like, why are you going to be struggling for years or even decades for some people if you can just shortcut it and get it in a couple of months? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I wanted to actually, my last question is because the system that we use is quite simple, to be honest, right? It's not clunky, it's not complex. It's a really easy sales process. It's mainly just organic. It's just, you know, having one offer, all of that. I think it's very simple, right? And when I teach it to others and when I help other people with their business scale, I think it's very simple. I don't see complexity in it, but I kind of want to see from your perspective, since we have been working for months now, like what has been your experience with it? Like, do you feel it's a simple system? Do you feel it's complex? Does it cause headaches? Like, if you talk about the system itself that we use, like, what would you say about it?
No, it's simple. And in fact, I think when I was starting to do this and getting the idea of like, okay, I want to start this business, and like I'm online because I can't find enough people in my backyard that want to options trade. It's not like a thing that everybody knows about or everyone wants to do. So I have to source people online. And I was like, okay, well, I have to make a Twitter following and I have to do Instagram and I was spreading myself like too thin. And you had me focus on just Twitter, which was really huge. So that process has been so much easier, like starting out with one platform, and and mastering a system for that. And then when you ace that, you move on. So like it has been more simple than how I would have done it without your insight there, because there's plenty of customers just on Twitter to get started. There really are. Like you don't have to overcomplicate anything. But yeah, it's been simple. It has been simple. It really has. And it hasn't even been that time consuming. I would say the most time consuming thing was actually developing my course, which I would have had to do anyway, but working with somebody made me want to do it faster, because I realized, wait, if I'm going to sell this 5K offer, I gotta like get this out there so there's something to impress everybody that's paying me the 5K. So that's kind of how I made my online course so quickly as well.
Yes. That makes sense. No, yeah, it's a pretty simple process. And just to wrap up this conversation, I want to say two things. The first one is just to talk about the system one last time. It's super simple. you don't really need to have a huge following. You don't need to be an influencer. You don't need any of these things. Like Erica said, it's quite simple. It's just one platform. You just choose Twitter. You have one offer, one client that you focus on. Just one. Super simple. You don't need a big audience. None of that, and it works for any niche, right? The niches that I've personally focused on helping others are the three main buckets, right? Wealth, which is the bucket that me and Eric are in, just making more money. Health, which is any fitness related offer, and relationships, right? So anything having to do with marriages or dating, these type of things, right? So those three niches work really well, and it's the same system, super simple. The last thing I want to say is that, again, I'm super proud of you. I'm excited for the future. I mean, 20K a month is huge, especially because you're making less than 1,000 when we first met. And where do you want to take it? Like right now, what's the next goal? 50K a month, or what would you say?
Sure, why not, right? Yeah, probably. I've sort of recruited my husband to help me more with this business because he's gotten to be more interested in it too. So, I think with his help, I can really kind of leverage more, and put more into it. So, yeah, I mean, growing it, and I think I would like to grow it in another social platform now. I'm started a YouTube channel. And that kind of cross reference of data has brought over more clients, which has been cool. So it's like just adding on one more thing when I'm ready all the time, and not like pushing to go too fast because you can't go too fast, and there's no reason to go too fast, because as long as you do the work and you're consistent, the clients just kind of keep coming in once you work the system.
Consistency. That one is key. And you're so good at it, by the way.
Thank you.
That's why you have good results. Yeah, especially with your content. I'm extremely consistent and I love it. Cool.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it.
okay.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. Hopefully this video is going to be valuable for the watchers. And all right.